everyone, Sutamie here, your local community translator. With the release of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet coming this year, in the last few days alone we have suddenly seen a massive flood of rumored Pokémon concept art leaks. I've been translating these as they've been released. I try to upload things as soon as possible on Twitter, so if you're not following my Twitter yet, be sure to go follow and make sure you get the freshest translations. But in this video, I will be going over the latest 4 concept art rumored leaks in a little bit of extra detail. Let's start by looking at the first rumored leak that started making the rounds on the internet. This Fuecoco evolution, now commonly being referred to as Fuecoco 3, seems to be the trendsetter, starting the trend of a printed picture on a table with some kind of Japanese object, in this case a bottle of ocha in frame. As for the Japanese text on this picture, starting with the top text, it states that Fuecoco 3 can fly for short distances. Next to this we have an onomatopoeia word for the flapping wings. In English we would say flap flap, but in Japanese it's pata pata. Moving down to note 2, the text here explains that in battle, Fuecoco 3's wings change and become larger. Over on point 3, it's said that Fuecoco 3 breathes scarlet-hued flames. This is an interesting point, because usually aka would be used. Aka is commonly thought of as red, but in the Japanese language the different shades all mostly fall under the same umbrella. To make a specific point of the color being scarlet, the katakana word was used. Katakana words are borrowed foreign words from different languages. Lastly, looking at note 4, the text simply states that this is Fuecoco 3 in its normal state. I don't believe this means that there will be a Mega Evolution or a Gigantamax or some other type of gimmick form. But this is Fuecoco 3 with its rings the standard size outside of battle. Out of all the leaks that will be covered in this video, this leak has the best Japanese. There are no real mistakes and it's written by hand. Now, let's look at the first of our 2 Craxley rumored leaks. This one showed up shortly after Fuecoco 3. On the top left, we have 2 example expressions, one being grinning, specifically using nia nia to make it a grin or a smirk, rather than nico nico, which is smile. Then angry, although technically correct. I find the handwriting here to be a bit off, particularly the last character. It's a little complicated, but although this is the correct way to write it, and the way it is in typed font, most native speakers would naturally write it like this, with a slight separation. See an example from S-san, who is a native speaker. But with that being said, it's just an uncommon handwriting style. It could very well be done by a native speaker who writes like this, or a non-native speaker who is directly copying typed text. Over here, the text says side view. This is often seen in concept art. Here we have another example of an onomatopoeia word, with the English equivalent being crack crack. In my opinion, the Japanese handwriting here also seems a little bit off, particularly this part here. Once again, it could just be a specific handwriting style of the artist, but I have never seen Ga written like this before. Moving over to the foot. Even without the foot text, we know this is a foot. But this text is the most problematic in the whole page. Foot would usually be written like this. The su character in foot is a lengthening agent, to imply a longer sound. So rather than being regular size, it's made smaller. However, in this text, it's written the normal size. This would be a very unusual mistake for a native Japanese speaker, or even someone somewhat proficient in Japanese to make. Additionally, most Japanese speakers would say ashi or ashi no ura, instead of the katakana word foot. The last piece of text on this page refers to the katana which shoots out. All in all, there are a lot of big mistakes in this rumored concept art, which I feel lead it to definitely being fake. Now, let's look at the third rumored leak, which is the second potential Craxley evolution. This concept art appeared not long after the first Craxley free. It continues the trend of some Japanese item being in frame, this time a coconut drink, the numbered text, and the new appearance of the confidential stamp. The first text here states water, then front view. To me, it seems a bit strange to have the typing followed by the text for front view. Additionally, although it's hard to explain, the grammar of the kanji used here is a little bit off. On note 2, we see front torso and back torso. There are several small Japanese issues here. The addition of ni would usually not occur. The fact that it's used here for the front but not the back is strange. Same with the no. Usually, this would be written as mai and ushiro. This is just a little too strange and inconsistent. Moving on to note 3, back plane. So this is just strange. This is once again written in katakana, which as I explained earlier is used for foreign borrowed words. It's weird that katakana is used here when there are applicable standard Japanese words. It seems like back plane was typed on Google Translate and this is what came out. And lastly, on note 4 we have several expressions. Relaxed, happy, dizzy, and prepared. First of all, I have never personally used junbi, prepare, in this context of an expression before. However, the big problem here is the happy is written incorrectly. Like foot in the previous Craxley 3, su is used as a word lengthener here. Therefore, should be smaller like this. But once again, it's written in standard size. Also, most people would use ueshi instead. Another victim of Google Translate liking katakana words. Like the previous Craxley 3, this one has a lot of Japanese mistakes, both in the language used and the handwriting. Once again, I believe this is fake. And finally, we finish with the most recent rumored leak. Here we have what seems to be a new variant of Diglett. This came with 2 pages. The first one just having a front and back image with Diglett's Japanese name. And the second page which has a little more text for us to read, but not much. And unlike the last 3 rumored leaks, this one is typed rather than being handwritten. Note 1 states that it has the strength of geysers, right? Sometimes my English gets a bit bad, sorry. Note 2 states that the typing is ground and water. And note 3 states that the images are of the front and the back, using the correct Japanese that fixes the issues that I mentioned in the previous Craxley 3 rumored leak. And just over here we have more onomatopoeia words, meaning click and push. Gachi in particular is noteworthy. Gachi means, as I said, to click, but it's more like the torque of a click. So for example, say you're pulling back on a string and you hear a click, then you let go and that's the push. I feel like the Japanese in this rumor fixes all of the issues I had with the previous 2 Craxley rumors. The text has been kept to a small amount and kept really simple, so there was little chance for mistakes. Additionally, with it being typed rather than handwritten, the artist has also had no potential for handwriting mistakes. I'm not an artist, but to me it feels a little odd, like most artists would probably just handwrite the notes as they were drawing. On the pink paper shown at the top of the page, we also see the kanji for moon, but there are no signs of any other kanji or hiragana or katakana nearby. This feels like an odd inclusion. And the last important note is that the original post of this rumor says it was originally found on Twitter, but I couldn't find it on Japanese Twitter. The poster also said that it looks like it could be the same person as the Free Coco Free leak. But I don't see why they would handwrite one and type the other. Although the Japanese checks out on this one, I just feel like it's not legit. And with all 4 rumored leaks fully examined, That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Do you think any of these rumors are real? If so, which ones? Share your thoughts and opinions on these rumors and the art and the general designs in the comments. Also, be sure to leave a like and a subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It really helps. And with that, it's time to say mata ne. See you next time.